Howdy howdy, this is Credit Grinding back again with an arena cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I cover round 1 predictions for the new Carnage and Corvus Glaive arenas. So the first thing I always like to do is categorize or basically bucket these arenas to past arenas, as that really enables the trend analysis I like to use for my predictions. So when it comes to the feature arenas, either you're a new champ or old champ, and of course Carnage, he's been in the game for a while, so he categorizes as an old champ despite having that recent buff. We've had an example already, like with Luke Cage coming through the arenas. It doesn't really pick them up to it. They don't perform like a new champ even after a buff kind of thing. They still kind of fit within that old champ kind of category. And then with Corvus Glaive in the 4-star basic arena, there's 3 types: low, medium, and high interest. I think Corvus, given how important he is from an Alliance War perspective, just overall meta in the game, I think he falls into that high level of interest, and based off of what I've heard from you in the community, and we'll get into that in a few minutes here. But now that I've got them categorized, let's go ahead and take a look at some recent results for those categories, starting first with that 4-star basic arena. You can see with Hela, Medusa, Mephisto, even looking at Hulk, Ragnarok, Killmonger more recently, a lot of those numbers are somewhere between 3 and 4 million, with 3.5 to 4 million kind of being the most recent range for some eagerly anticipated or interesting characters like Killmonger, Hulk, Ragnarok, etc. However, when they're really top tier type champs, you can see we do have those really big outliers like Blade, who went all the way to 5.3. I think those days are done. If anybody could push that, it would be Corvus, but I don't think he'll quite get there, and you'll see my numbers here shortly for those. Now let's take a look at some of these the feature results. 3-star feature, very standard anymore. It's just really over that last milestone. When we take a look at the 4-star feature, they kind of ebb and flows. You have some on the lower side under 5 million, then you have on the upper side from 5 million to 5.5 million. I think Carnage with the buff will be kind of on that higher end. And then with the 5-star feature arena, same thing. The range obviously is different though. You're dealing with like low end, like Ant-Man was like just under 20 million, almost 18 million kind of thing. And then you really, though, it's above 20 million now for these 5-star feature champs, anywhere from low-end 20s to mid-range 20 million. And again, I think Carnage will be kind of in that mid-range 20 just because of the buff. People are interested in playing him. So now that we've taken a look at some of these trends, I always like to take your input, the community, because at the end of the day, right, we're the ones who drive these results. It's really one of the competitive feature against anybody who participates in the arena, as the participation level truly determines what numbers are the cutoffs. So with that said, I always like to put out a poll for new arenas, especially the more interesting arenas. And in this case, I wanted to get your opinion, getting the community's opinion on this Corvus Glaive 4-star basic arena. First of all, thank you very much for everybody who took the time to vote. This is probably one of the biggest, if not the all-time biggest in terms of number of votes. 683 of you voted, and as you can see, there isn't a clear majority, but the highest number, just under 40%, is 3.5 to 4 million. But then the next one is 10%, almost 10% lower, a little bit more than that, was 4 to 4.5. And then 4.5 to 5 million, that was at 9. Well, you can see the numbers here. So it feels like the majority of folks are in that 3.5 to 4 to 4 to 4.5 million range. And, you know, it's great to get the numbers, but I also like to get a little bit more of qualitative perspective on what people are thinking. And so that's why I always appreciate when people take an additional minute or so and puts their thinking behind their vote in the comment section. So here are a couple of the comments that I thought kind of stuck out, or at least represented a lot of the same feedback that others were sharing in the comment section. Let's start first with Ben Grimm here. Voted for that 3.5 to 4 million. His opinion: Corvus is clearly high priority for a lot of people, so I think he's going to end up about as high as anyone does anymore. That said, I think the ceiling is still below 4 million. No one has ever gone over 4 million since Blade, and scores have only declined since then. The record since Killmonger, and he was barely over 3.5. I think 3.7 to 3.8 for Corvus. I don't think we'll see a 4-star basic over 4 million again. So Ben's point, I mean, and that very well may be the case. I mean, we're kind of an arena fatigue, 4-star characters. Corvus, even though he's great, he's kind of a bursty champ, so even for longer, harder, difficult fights, a 4-star Corvus, how valuable will he be, that kind of thing. So I think Ben's kind of representing that here. So definitely, and I seen some similar thinking from other folks who voted in this area. But when we take a look at some of the folks who voted for some of the higher numbers, Ashish here had an interesting point, and I think a very valid point as well. Corvus is the new Alliance War King and a great counter against usual bosses such as Medusa and Iron Man Infinity War. Besides, he will be an asset in Blade Immune Season 5 Alliance War, as Blade is no longer the top choice. I think Blade definitely gets nerfed a bit. He still has value if you carry a Ghost Rider, in my opinion, because then you really can get, anytime you run across a villain, you'll still get the danger senses, which doesn't increase your attack. So sure, you're not going to get the Blade anymore, but you're not going to get the bleed anymore, but you're going to still get that increased attack as well as shutdown of some of the abilities of villains. So agree. I think there will be an nerf for Blade, but very valid point. But I'm just trying to, for whatever reason, I'm defending Blade still as an Alliance War attacker, so on offense basically. But anyway, that's not the purpose of this video. But Ashish has a very good valid point here. Corvus will be a very, and still is, because a lot of people, including myself, use him in war already. And then lastly, maybe I'll throw this one under the most entertaining submission. So Ivan Rodriguez went Tootsie Pop marketing on us here with the "something's really wrong with you guys. Does everybody have Corvus? So will he go low? Does nobody have Corvus except the whale? So will he go high? Does nobody know what the..." We won't say that word. Sorry for those folks worried about language. They are talking about so much that they make they make up a lot of junk. Corvus is a Tootsie Pop as to how many points needed to win him. The world may know until Sunday. Or I think he meant to say, kind of following that old Tootsie Pop, the world will never know, well, at least until Sunday, kind of thing. So, Ivan, thank you very much for the very entertaining comment. But I think there's some very good valid points here from across the community. And I think outside of Ivan's, I think Ashish and Ben, we've got a lot of representation of what we're hearing across the board. So, taking a look at the trends, taking a look at the community input here. Here are my thoughts for the first round cutoff. So, starting first with the 5-star feature Carnage, I think we're looking at about 25 million. And again, I try to get within 5 to 10% of where the cutoff will actually land. So, let's kind of keep that in mind when you're playing around with these. And again, these predictions are for the Veterans bracket, meaning your account's been open for over 60 days. For the 4-star feature Carnage, I think you're looking around 5.5 million. For Corvus Glaive, 4-star basic, I think we're looking at 4.2. I think he is going to eclipse that 4 million threshold and go a little bit higher. And then with Carnage, I think we're looking at 650,000. Again, this is where I think within 5 to 10% the cutoffs will land. So I always like to give a grind target, especially with a lot of interest for an arena like Corvus Glaive. So these grind targets are for the Veterans bracket. So anyway, with the 5-star feature Carnage, I think we're looking at 27 million. For the 4-star feature Carnage, I think we're looking at 6 million. For the 4-star basic Corvus Glaive, I think we're looking at 4.6. And lastly, for the 3-star feature Carnage, I think we're looking at 700,000. And again, all these grind targets and predictions are for the Veterans bracket. When it comes to the lower brackets, here are my thoughts for those. And again, if you're newer to my channel, these videos, unfortunately not videos, but these predictions aren't based off a lot of historical data trends like we can do for the Veterans bracket, because there's just nobody really collects these across the community that I can then pull from and do any trend analysis. So these are just based off of some anecdotal information from the community from time to time, as people might share kind of what they ended up scoring while in these younger brackets, or my own personal experience. But there's a lot of volatility in these brackets because you got people moving in and out of them all the time. So just keep in mind, these are just some really rough ranges to kind of give you an idea to what to go after. So for the beginners bracket, meaning your account's pretty brand new for within 30 days. 3-star feature, you're looking at 245,000. 4-star basic Corvus, you're looking for 1 million. 4-star feature Carnage, you're looking at 1 million. Now for the intermediate bracket, meaning your account's been open for 31 to 60 days. 3-star feature, you're looking at about 550. 4-star basic Corvus, about 1.2, 1.3 million. And for the 4-star feature Carnage, you're looking right around 1 million. So anyway, these are my thoughts for this first round of the Carnage and Corvus Glaive arenas. I'd love to hear what you think, or if you have any questions, throw them down in the comment section. We can definitely discuss them there. And if you like this video, I'd really appreciate if you click that thumbs up button. And if you like this and other videos on my channel and you haven't yet subscribed, really hope that you would. So thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a great day.